All right, so today we're going to go over some of the basics of getting a transaction started in your zip forms. So what we've done here is we've created a transaction. You can see up here, and I'll highlight that. Maybe I won't highlight that. I don't think that'll highlight. Oh, yeah, there it is. Up there you can see that's the address of the transaction. It's a test transaction. So we're going to use that address. And you come to your summaries page here. It will tell you who the agent is and what this is. This was a listing, a residential listing. And so what you want to do is you want to go ahead and check to see how much of this information here is filled in. And one way to do that is we can take that street address and populate it here. 29581 Butterfield Way. Put in the city, state, zip, and then if you come up here to this Record Connect and we click the Record Connect button, it's going to go out onto Public Record and look up this address, and you can see it finds all of this information up here. So seller 1, we know it's me. So seller 1 information goes in there. Seller 2 information. It's got the street address, the city, the state, the zip, the county, the county, excuse me. The parcel number, the assessor's parcel number is here. Track, lot, right? Year built, zoning, everything is in there. So you want to go ahead and import. Do you want to replace existing data with imported data? You hit yes. It's going to take this data from public record and it's going to populate this transaction. So now you can see the zoning was put in, the assessor's parcel number is in. So that information is now in there. So another thing that you want to check before you really start getting too deep into your transaction is you want to go from this summaries tab to the parties tab. Okay, we go to the parties tab, and if you see there's all parties, the buy side, the sell side, and the service providers. So of course, right now we do not have any buy side because we're working on a listing. So we have sell side transactions. Okay, so seller 1, if we click in to seller 1, this will allow you to complete the information for seller 1. You got first name, middle initial if you want to put that in there, last name, you would put their email address here, okay, and you would want to go ahead and populate that now. And then when you go later to send out an e-signature, the email is already populated, so you're good to go. Okay. Now, let's say that the role of the seller was an LLC or a corporation, or it was a trust, and you need to have a signing representative because the trust, the LLC, the corporation does not have a signature. Still needs to be a natural person's signature. That's what you would use this signing representative area down here for. So this would say up here maybe the Orantia Family Trust, and then my name, Joshua J. Orantia, and my email address would be down here. And that would allow for my signature to go in the seller 1 spot if I wasn't the natural seller. Okay, so we would save that. You're going to want to do the same thing with seller number 2. So you would go into seller 2 and you would correct that information as well. And let's see if we can go in there. There it goes. You would put that information in as well, finish off the information for seller 2. I won't do that just to protect my wife from getting 1,000 emails. And here I have gone ahead and in our template I have populated it with my information as the broker. Therefore, when you're doing your SELMs or any other thing that needs the broker's signature or initial, when you go to create the e-signature, the information is already in there, so you can just tag me instead of having to manually enter it. Okay, so at this time we don't have any buy sides because this is a listing. We haven't received an offer yet. Service providers, we would save this for, so you've got your disclosure company, right? Your property ID, your home warranty, Old Republic. You can also put in your escrow officers, your escrow officer assistants. You can put pretty much you can put the lender in here. Anybody that's going to be working on the file that you might want to later email something out to, you're going to want to put them in here so that when you go to email or to digital signature, you can click their names and it'll add them to that email or that digital signature. Okay, so now when you go to take a look at the Documents tab, this is what's already pre-populated. When you're doing a listing, there's more files than there are when we're just doing a purchase contract, because we have to keep track of both the listing documents and the sales documents. So we have our folders: listing documents, sales documents, our disclosures and advisories, inspections, reports and invoices, miscellaneous documents, our closing documents, and then a file for communications. This is where emails would go, text messages, anything communication between you and the other agent or the other side would go in here. We can show you later on how you can upload emails into this communications folder. Okay, every document that you need to create a transaction for a listing is in here already. So you have your residential listing agreement, you have your seller to exclude the listing from the multiple listing service, market conditions advisory, statewide buyer and seller advisory. This is the disclosure information advisory. This is what they should be reading before they fill out their disclosures, so they know what disclosures to fill out, how to fill them out, how to go about it, making sure they're complete. Your real estate transfer disclosure statement, agent visual inspection, seller property questionnaire, water conserving plumbing fixtures and carbon monoxide detectors, your everybody's favorite home hardening disclosure and advisory. All of your residential booklets are in here. Okay, so they're all ready to go. So if you fill out your parties tab correctly, when you go into your cover sheet, you will see that the information is already preloaded. So your seller's name is already in, and of course there would be an email address if I was going to share it. We went to the Record Connect tab, so it started auto-populating information about the property. So you already have a lot of information that's automatically in here. The way we set our templates up, all of our information here should be correct already. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so that's how you set up a transaction, and then you would go into your residential listing agreement or whatever form you would need and start preparing the transaction. And again, you'll see that the seller's names are already populated, Downtown Country Real Estate is already populated, your agent name is already populated, and the information about the property, because of that Record Connect, is already populated.